Deepak here, and I'm back here in muggy New Jersey. So before I go fishing next, I figured I would go through all the stuff that I was using in New Hampshire and what was catching fish. So let's take a look. Well, of course, I'm going to be throwing spinner baits, and most likely I'm going to be throwing War Eagle spinner baits. There's two spinner baits that were catching fish. The first was this half-ounce War Eagle spinner bait. I believe the color is called Aurora. Could be wrong, but I think it's Aurora. Basically all silver, half-ounce, 2 willow blades. And the other spinnerbait, the one I caught the first fish on the week, was the Gold Shiner half-ounce with 2 willow blades from War Eagle. I also use a spinnerbait from Strike King. I'm not sure exactly which spinnerbait it is. It's an older spinnerbait that I've had for a while, but I kind of cheated and I wanted to get a quick fish on the board, and I put this on because I knew a pickerel was going to hit it in the swamp. So this is the Strike King. It's a red. It has a trailer hook already on it, which is cool about Strike King. They come with the trail hooks. So I put this on, caught a pickerel, called my shot. How about that? A lot of the fish I caught were on top water. Top water is everyone's favorite to catch fish. Who doesn't like to catch fish with giant blow-ups? So here are some of the top water baits that I was using to catch fish. Of course, I was using the Storm Arashi Cover Pop. This is the green gill. This is my go-to. Caught a couple good largemouth, maybe just one largemouth on the Cover Pop in green gill. But I also broke out a new color. This is the bluegill color, and this is what I caught the 3.5-pound smallmouth on in the morning. I don't know why it's called bluegill. To me, it doesn't look like a bluegill, but that's the Storm's color for bluegill. So this one in the morning got me a great smallmouth. Again, I love these heavy hooks. Next up is a lure that's been around for quite a while, and a lot of people have been fishing it, so it's no secret, but I don't fish it. Or I do fish it, but I don't really catch anything on it until this past week, and that is the Whopper Plopper. And the two colors I was throwing on were the Bone Whopper Plopper, and these are the smaller, but not smallest size Whopper Ploppers. The Bone and the Loon. This one as the sun was fading, and this one after the sun went down. This one I caught that really nice smallmouth at night where I thought I hooked the loon. And I think this difference between how I was fishing it this week and in the past is, the past I was burning it, whereas this week I was just kind of really slow crawling it, and it wasn't making such a huge noise, because normally when I'm fishing them, I think that I need to hear it in order for the bass to hear it. That's not really the case. Sound travels really well underwater, so maybe I need to start fishing it slower, and maybe I'll get more success. So the loon and the bone colored Whopper Plopper in the 90F is another bait that I was catching good fish on. And of course, I was fishing probably the most frustrating lure that I own, and that is the Tekla Frog. I've had a lot of blow-ups on the Tekla Frog in the past, but this week was the first time I actually hooked a fish. This is the Tekla Frog. Everyone knows it by now. But I was really excited to actually catch a fish on this thing, because I've been using it as a search bait just to find out if there's fish in the area, but it doesn't bring me any fish. So for me to actually catch a really good sized bass on the Tekla Frog was huge. So I guess I'm going to keep throwing it. There's another lure that I had a first time fish on, and that is the Lunkerhunt Dragonfly. The white one is the one I caught the one bass in the swamp, and then this black one I caught the pickerel. I'm starting to like it. You know, it's a little bit more subtle, but here's how I was fishing them. The Dragonfly is actually a great follow-up bait. So I would throw something like the Lunkerhunt Prop Frog, get a couple of blow-ups or hits on it, and when the fish would miss it, I would quickly follow it up with dropping this in the exact same spot. Similar colors, this thing floats and doesn't move, and with the hook I could really set the hook on the fish that would hit it. So I think that this is going to be a great follow-up bait for baits like the Lunkerhunt Prop Frog or the Tekla Frog, which has blow-ups but has bad hookup ratio. Fish blows up on one of these, drop this right there, fish comes right back, hits it because he thinks it's he wounded the other bait, chomps on this, you set the hook, you got the fish. That's how I'm going to be fishing the Dragonfly this way forward. And of course, you can't be fishing topwater without fishing frogs. And my new go-to frog, it really has become the Lunkerhunt Compact Frog. These are the Lunkerhunt Compact Frogs. The one I caught a couple fish on was I think it's called the Ghost. It's all white. This one got hammered, and then they took off the skirt. So I took a dragonfly from Lunkerhunt and used the dragonfly wings as a replacement skirt. And I did catch a little fish on that, so it does work. I also had a good blow up on this Cajun colored Lunkerhunt frog. So I'm really liking these frogs. They're going to be pretty much my go-to. I'm going to start filling up my tackle box with these. I actually stopped by a Kmart and found 2 more colors. And I'm ordering some more from Tackle Warehouse today. Compact frog from Lunkerhunt. Awesome frog. Catches fish. Another type of lure I throw a lot is the jerkbait. First day I was up at New Hampshire, I was throwing the Lunkerhunt jerkbait in this crawfish color. Hooked a good one right next to the boat. He spit it. But it's a fish. Lunkerhunt. And then, of course, at the end, I decided to risk it and throw the Megabass. $25 lure, caught a little fish under a half a pound. I don't throw a $25 lure that often because I'm afraid of losing it. And if you're fishing waters with a lot of toothy critters like pickerel, they're going to steal them from you. So I only really throw this when I need to. I felt like I needed to that day. It was a long, slow morning, and it got me a fish to start the morning off. I did have a pickerel in New Jersey take away my other Megabass Vision 110, and it hurt. It hurts a lot. I'm going to replace it, but this is the jerkbait I caught a fish on. The third jerkbait that I threw and caught fish was the Duo Realis. Duo Realis, I think, is an alternative to spending $25 for the Megabass because they have some pretty good jerkbaits. This is the Midnight Black 2, and I don't know if you can see, but the markings from the bass's mouth are on it. It got hammered from a bass. I was working it through the grass in the swamp. And I like it because it only got 2 hooks, so 2 hooks means less tangling, less fouling of the lure, and less snagging of the fingers. So Duo Realis Midnight Black 2. Caught a good bass on that. Now on to some soft plastics. Of course, you gotta throw the Ned Rig. I caught a good bass on the Ned Rig in the green pumpkin. This is a bait I don't throw often enough. I use it a lot, during the spawn, but really after that in New Jersey, it seems like the vegetation grows up in New Jersey a little too much to be throwing it. You're just sitting there pulling up grass and hydrilla, things like that. But if I can find a place that's open and doesn't have that much vegetation, I'll throw the Ned Rig. I did it up in New Hampshire, caught a fish. And of course, I am a drop shot guy. So I was throwing the drop shot. This is the Dream Shot from Strike King. The color that was really killing it was I think it's called Magic. It's got some brown, some purple, and some green. So this is the color that was getting the good lunkers that one day and really got a good pattern going. Dream Shot. It's almost like cheating. Another thing that I tried this year and hooked a fish was the Humdinger, the Keith Boucher Humdingers. By attaching this to the end of a Big Bite Baits trick stick and running it through the thick grass, I got a hit on that. Or I got a fish, I got a pickerel on it. So it does work. Humdinger. Another bait besides the Dragonfly I was using as a follow-up is the Lunker City Spankies in black, specifically. Slow fall, different action than a regular Senko style. Dropped it in after a blow up, caught fish. Spanky from Lunker City. Well, after fishing for 7 days, the fishing got a little bit tougher. First couple days, I was crushing them. But after a while, the fish kept seeing the same baits over and over again. The same frogs, the same spinner baits, the same jerk baits. So I really had to go back down to the basics and do what's the most basic way to fish, and that is wacky worming. And I always use, well, I'm not using the Spankies, I'm using Big Bite Baits Trick Sticks. The color, as always, is the green pumpkin. Wacky worm on the Hayabusa spin mussel hook. So I've said it before and I'll say it again a million times. There's only one hook I use when I'm wacky worming, and that is the Hayabusa spin mussel. You can see it here. It's got an extra little bend. I always use the weedless one because why not? I don't feel that these weed guards stop me from hooking up on any fish, so I might as well fish with them. So this is the hook I always use when I'm fishing a wacky worm, Big Bite Baits Trick Stick. As for my drop shotting, I'm using the VMC spin mussel. I love drop shotting with hooks that have the swivel on it because it helps me change up the length of the leader or replace mangled line on above the hook quicker. It saves money, saves time. So this is the hook I always use when I'm drop shotting. VMC spin mussel. Lastly, for weights, I was using 3/16 cylinder shaped drop shot weights from Voss, I believe. So that's the weight I had drop shotting. A couple other equipment things I was using on my trip. I started using the Simms Solaflex gloves. Bought them this spring and I never really used them. I guess mostly because I was like, why is the index finger so long? But my hands were hurting from getting all chewed up from bass, and they got a hook in the finger. So I started using these to protect my hands, and they actually work pretty well. You gotta get used to wearing gloves when I'm fishing. They also come in really handy when you're holding pickerel, but they smell a little funky afterwards. And lastly, of course, are my Wiley X gravity glasses. Girlfriend gave me these a little over a year ago, and they make a huge difference when I'm fishing. I've been fishing this lake for almost 30 years, and by wearing these glasses I could see laydowns that I never knew were there, rocks that I never knew were there, the contours of the lake that I thought were different. I thought it would be more flat and it was a big drop off. So spending the money for these glasses was a great investment on my girlfriend's behalf for me fishing. So I highly recommend getting a good solid pair of polarized glasses. Wiley X are awesome. Check them out. I can see the fish. Alright, so that's it. That's what I was catching my fish on up in New Hampshire. A couple regular lures that I use all the time, and a couple of new ones like the Dragonfly, and the Whopper Plopper, and the Techofrog. So, caught a lot of fish, had a great time, and now I'm back in New Jersey. It's been about a week since I got back, but tomorrow me and Lena are going fishing on the boat. So we're going to go catch some fish. We're going to use some of the same lures that I just showed you, but we're probably going to use some new ones too. Anyway, that's it. Deep Puck, out. Ugh. Now I got to organize all this mess before I go fishing tomorrow. That'll be fun. Boo! I'm like Michael Jackson. Gotta get some glitter on it, some sequins.